Oh, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna wait 20 more seconds, let folks get settled in and connected to audio. Great to see some familiar names out there from part one. Thank you for attending. All right, let's get started. I'd like to thank the audience for joining our webinar, part two in our data dialogue series, the roadmap to S4HANA, how to execute and expand the business value of your S4HANA transformations with added TCO benefits. I'm Miranda Burke, I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at S&P and your host for today. Today's webcast will be 30 minutes. We will record this and send it to all the registrants, the link to the recording and the presentation at the end. And as a reminder, you have the flexibility to adjust the screen size, and you can find that expand button in the middle of your screen directly below the speaker boxes. Before we get started, I'd just like to paint a quick picture of our Data Dialogue webinar series. Now, this is us diving into a variety of topics related to SAP data transformation and data management projects. We're putting a twist on the data discussions, getting away from the dry topics. So please feel comfortable to ask any questions in the chat function, participating in our poll questions and the survey at the end. So it's time to sit back, relax, have some sips of your coffee or an energy drink, and let's have fun. All right, I'd like to start off today by launching our poll question. All right. How much do you think automation can reduce the time and risk for your organization to achieve your S4HANA goals? I think automation can save 25% of time and risk, 40%, 60%, or more. Feel free to submit your answer into the chat or into the poll. Alrighty, we'll let this run for another couple seconds here. Feel free to chime in. All right, very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to close the poll and I am going to share the results. All right, about 25 of us, 25% think 25%, about 40% on 38%, and 60% or more. These are very interesting poll results. Thank you for submitting. All right, Russell. Well, I would like to introduce my expert for today. His name is Russell Salone. He's based out of Texas, and he leads our pre-sales and solutioning team. With that, Russell, if you want to come on the stage here, and I will pass the floor to you.
Thank you, Miranda. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes. I just can't see you.
Aha. Well, let's fix that. There.
Perfect.
Yeah, see me.
Great.
Okay. Excellent. And can you see my screen?
I can see page one, slide one.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy day to come join us. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how leveraging automation can drive value in your S4 transformation, not just during the transformation itself, but how it can set you up to get longer term value by getting to that S4 target environment sooner with less business fatigue, a lot less trouble. So you're not doing a whole series of projects to get there, how we can get you there a little bit quicker. So let's dive right in. A little bit about us, S&P as a company. We operate from all over the world. We have 30 different offices plus. Well, we're expanding. We're currently opening new offices in Puerto Rico and other areas across the world. We have about 1,500 employees now. We're growing every day. We've done almost 15,000 projects where we've helped companies go from SAP to SAP as part of their journey. You know, whether they're upgrading their 4.6C system up to ECC or ECC to a higher level of ECC, consolidations, carve-outs, acquisitions, landscape transformations, the works. And we've done more S4 projects than anyone else in the world, pretty much. I mean, we lead S4 transformation, we out S4 SAP. So we have almost 400 projects completed. We have several in the works all the time. And we are also actively involved with the RISE program. In fact, S&P is a RISE customer ourselves. We took our own platform to S4 on RISE just recently, late last year. So we practice what we preach, quote unquote, eat our own dog food, as they say. Now, what is it we do for you? We drive value by reducing your total cost of ownership, as well as reducing the effort and risk associated with getting to your next step on your S4 journey. Now, everyone's on an S4 journey, whether they like it or not, right? Some people are in different stages. They're going ECC to Suite on HANA. They're going ECC to higher levels of ECC, but eventually everyone's going to be heading to S4, and we can help you at every step of the way. And what we do is we focus on the data transformation. It's our sole purpose. We only focus on the SAP data, and we deal with what you've got to deal with to get to S4. When you go to S4, there's certain things you have to inherit, like the new GL. You have to move to business partners. You're obviously dealing with most likely a database change, because you're probably not already on HANA, but you have to go to HANA, so you've got a database change. Quite often it involves a platform change. Many of our customers are moving from on-prem to cloud, whether it's with RISE or other service providers as part of their whole transformation going forward. A lot of our customers are trying to get out of the IT business, right, and move to where IT is a part of their business, but not their business, right? So that's why they're moving to cloud solutions, et cetera. And so we look at how do we get you there simpler? Well, we've spent 30 years developing the software it takes to do the data transformation. And one of the big things that our customers face when they go to, especially S4 or anything HANA based, is the cost of carrying data. Carrying data is very expensive in the HANA world. So let's take the subset of data that's most important to you and get it over to HANA, and then let's take a look at what to do with the rest of it. You know, and we don't want to throw it away. It's still valuable, right? It's still your data, it's still your history, it's still your business, but we don't want to throw it away, but we also don't want to pay enormous amounts of money to carry it in a HANA database. And so we have off-the-shelf software that helps you with that, helps you identify what that data should be and what's the best way to get it to where you're trying to go. Another part of what we do is, if you look at what it takes to get to S4, a lot of times you might have to look at an archiving project, for example, or you might need to deal with business partners, or you need to do a new GL transformation. We can combine all of those into a single project so that you only have one downtime, one go live, a lot less business fatigue, a lot less testing. We don't have to do it in several projects. And that's how we leverage our experience and our automation to help drive out the costs of getting you to where you want to go. How do we do that? Well, we have a whole collection of software suite. If you talk about our SMP software, you can think of it like Microsoft Office. It has a lot of component parts. One of the key component parts is mission control, which is a guided procedure. And it's a collection of templates based on where you're coming from and where you're trying to go to. So for example, if you're trying to go from, you're on SAP ECC, but you want to go to Suite on HANA, you're not quite ready to make the full jump to S4. Well, we have a template for that. Or if you're on ECC and you want to make the full jump all the way to S4, we have a template for that. So we have templates based on doing 15,000 of these projects. We know exactly what has to happen, when it has to happen, what are the dependencies, what are the data dependencies, what are the timing dependencies from the business checking this and checking that. And all of that's available to you as part of the software set when we give you mission control. It gives you top-down, template-based, guided procedures. And as we iterate through the project, it's typical that we'll have to load the data multiple times, right? Because we got to learn as we go, right? We're not going to get it nobody's going to get it right the first try, right? We're going to talk to you, we're going to understand where you're trying to go, but we're not going to be able to magically do it the first try. So each time we iterate, excuse me, we can version that template for you, and you can keep a full record of everything that occurred. So there's full auditability. It's automatically baked in the software, and it automatically carries every single step, every single action, every single problem, every single ticket that was created, every single resolution to those tickets is all automatically captured in the mission control. So it gives us a way to do things consistently. It gives us the ability to move forward for years and years with you as a customer as you move through multiple projects. You don't need to worry about, well, Fred left the company and he remembered how to do that. Well, it's already in mission control. So those are the kinds of things that having it all built into automation really saves time, it minimizes risk, and accelerates your time to value. I'm going to kind of go fast because we got a lot here. We probably won't get to every slide because we only have 30 minutes, but Miranda's going to send you all these slides so you can refer to them back, and we look forward to your questions. So please feel free to ask as we go through, as well as after the fact. You reach back out to us. We're here to help. So to the poll question, how does automation help? Right? So we have in our software platform across the board, we try to leverage automation wherever possible, because we know that there's no reason to do the same thing twice manually. You got to do it once manually to figure out how it works. But after that, you should be able to repeat it, right? So we build that in, and we define test cases. We define images of what the data looks like before we do our transformation. We define images of what we expect it to look like after our transformation. And then we have the ability through software to compare those. So we start early on defining the verification process. We want to go in, and on the first iteration of that data load, on the first iteration of that transformation test, we want to understand what is it you're really expecting to be on the other side. And so we introduced this test verification, this automation supported validation and verification right up front. And it's included in our process, it's included in our methodology, and it's included in how we get you to your S4 solution quickly. So at the end of the day, a lot of customers keep hearing this clean digital core, right? This concept of S4, you got to start with a clean digital core, which makes a lot of sense, right? If you think about it, if your core data isn't representative of how your business actually runs, then how can you trust any of the reports you get off of it, right? So we're going to help you understand what it means to get to that clean digital core. We're going to help you understand what it means if you're talking about having to move to the cloud. We have in the software out of the box tools and techniques that help you get from on-prem to the cloud. We understand what it takes to get to pretty much every major cloud vendor out there. You name it, we've got it. We've got over 42 targets of how to put data on the cloud. We also have flexible deployment. And so we have the ability for you to take a look at, all right, I've got this very large starting point and I need to get to an S4 and I need to get there fast. So I want to take only a small part of what I need to run my business in S4. The rest I'll move later. But we have the ability to help you support that. And we have the ability to give you the opportunity to selectively pull data. In other words, we're only going to pull certain company codes or SAP organization structures or particular time frames, only the last 3 years, things of that, get you over to S4. And then we also have, well, what do we do with the rest of it? So we have that ability to understand, well, what should be archived? What should be decommissioned? What should be parked out in a data lake for future analysis? All of those tools we have in the tool bag. And so what we can do is we can give you that ability to get to the value of S4 sooner, because you don't have to transform your entire company all at once. And we have lots of things in our toolkit to help you with that. Now, one of the key things is speed to value. A lot of our customers have told us over the years that one of the struggles they have is defining the business case for S4. So give me a reason to go to S4 other than I have to, right? And so when you look at defining a business case, you got to look at what does it take to get you there? What's it cost you to get to the target? Well, if we can lower the cost of that target, if we can lower the cost of getting you to that target, then we can make it easier for you to form a business case of how, what to get out of it. Because if you have a lower cost, then the value you need to get out of it doesn't have to be as astronomical. Now, we always want as much value as possible, obviously. But if you look at what it takes traditionally to get from where you are to on ECC to where you want to go on S4, there's a whole series of things. You got to deal with new GL, you got to deal with business partners. You might need to take on new asset accounting. You might be on warehouse management. You need to go to extended warehouse management, a whole collection of things like that. And typically in the past, those have been separate projects, each requiring their own project plan, their own project lifecycle, the series of tests, the business fatigue, the go live, the downtime, everything else. With our Bluefield methodology and our software stack, we can help you combine projects. So we can do things like we can change your platform from on-prem to the cloud. We can go from Oracle to HANA. We can go from ECC to S4. We can go from classic GL to new GL and even the universal journal. We can go from customers and vendors to business partners. All of those things could be combined into a single project and into a single go live. So we only have one series of tests, one series of training, one series of downtime, one series of business fatigue. So we get you to that S4, and now you can start really taking advantage of S4 to grow your business value going forward. So we focus on reducing the cost, risk, and effort of getting you to that clean core, getting you to that S4. So we're going to get you there as fast as we can, and we're going to reduce the cost through automation.
Hey, Russell, we have one question from the audience, if I may interrupt.
Sure.
Have you seen SAP utility customers moving from SAP ECC EH7 using ISU to Oracle SaaS-based ERP instead of S4HANA? And I can repeat that.
Oh, no, I understand the question. Okay. Short answer is I have not seen that. I can't say yes or no, it exists. That's Miranda, I think that's one we should take offline and follow up and reply back, because I'd have to reach out to, I don't know all 15,000 projects we've done. So maybe we've done that, I don't know, but I don't know off the top of my head. But I do know that we have helped many customers get from ECC ISU to S4. We do have core product in our solution to support that transformation from ISU to S4. So we do have the data models. We do understand what that data set looks like in ISU, and we have helped customers in the utility space get to S4 very rapidly.
Excellent. Thank you, Russell.
So just a little bit more about how that works. If you look at traditional projects, right, you've got process engineering, you've got implementations, multiple waves, you've got data archiving, you've got to deal with everything that's going to take you to get to the conversion for S4. You've got what do I do with all this data? I'm a 60 terabyte database in Oracle, and it won't physically fit in S4, right? HANA doesn't want that much data, right? How do I deal with that? And so we address those for you. And if you look at the bottom of this slide, you see that Bluefield is all about selective migration. We're only going to take across the data that's really important for your S4 solution. Well, everything that's left behind, we have answers for that, right? Whether it's archiving, decommissioning, putting it out somewhere else into a data lake, or just leaving that SAP system up in read-only mode. We deal with all that, perfect content. But we don't want to take 60 terabytes to HANA. It's cost prohibitive, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to help you understand which business units, which SAP org structure, company codes, sales orgs, purchasing organizations, profit centers, asset valuation classes, whatever you need to look at, what makes the most sense to be in your day-to-day operations in that S4 system, the OLTP. What's the data we need for the online transaction processing? Plus, what's the data we need for the month-in, month-out operational processing, right? This month, last month comparison. But do we need in S4 this month to 5 years ago comparison? Probably not, right? We can find better places for that. It's too expensive. And so that's what we do. We help you understand that, and we can compress our timelines. What we see a lot of times is if you look at traditional approach, it might take 27 months or more to get there, and we compress that down to, we do a lot of our transformations in as little as 6 months, but most S4s are 9 to 12 months. Some are 18, but nowhere near that 27 months. And that's because we've done this so many times. We understand what has to happen on every S4 implementation, no matter who you are, right? There's certain things that's going to happen no matter who you are. Certain tables have to come across, certain transformations have to come across. Those are all in the box. So we can focus on only those things that are unique to you. Those are the things that they're going to bring the real value to you as an S4 customer. How am I going to take advantage of this new platform once I've built it, right? That's what we do. We take away all the headaches of digging through the weeds of table by table, field by field. Most of that's already in our software. We give you what you need. We help you understand how to find the most important parts, and then that's all we move to S4. And then we help you deal with everything else before, during, or after. In other words, one of the things I like to tell our customers is we take archiving off the critical path. It doesn't mean archiving goes away. It just doesn't have to happen before you go to S4, right? So we could do it before we go to S4, we can do it during the S4, we can do it after. We have that capability. So those are the things we do to help you get to that S4 value much sooner and with a lot less risk, because it's software driven, right? The software, we've done it, 15,000 times. We've got almost 400 S4 transformations under our belt. So we know the software works. We know we can help you. We know we can reduce your time. And let's get your smart people focused on the smart things. How do we get the value out of the S4, right? So that's the intent. Now, a lot of our customers ask about RISE. Well, we are a RISE customer. S&P has our own internal systems. We run on S4 in RISE. Okay, so we, as I said earlier, we eat our own dog food. And we help you work through your RISE journey, whether you're going to S4 via RISE or on your own. It's a lot of it's very much the same to us because we're focused on the data, right? So we partner with SAP. We meet with them every week in the RISE team. Our development teams meet with their development teams. So we're plugged in. We know we can help you get from where you are to where you want to go, whether you're going RISE or not. So just a couple of testimonies here, or success stories as they call them. So a company called Notco. I like this company a lot just because of their name, right? We're not mayonnaise, we're not hamburgers, we're not milk. It's a pretty neat company. They're looking for all of the ways to put food products out there that don't have a lot of the unhealthy side effects or detriments of the prior ways of doing things. And they were able to get to S4 on a best practice solution very rapidly. And they collaborated with AWS. So their target was on Amazon, but they did it via the RISE approach. So you see, we have the ability, we have success stories about any combination of how you're trying to get to your S4 success story. We worked with all of them. And just, this was one of those ones that showed off how we partnered with the company, ourselves, SAP, and AWS to achieve the goal. I mentioned this earlier, we ourselves are a RISE success story. We took our stuff and we moved it from in-house stuff, right? We took our solution, moved it from in-house to the cloud. We used our own Bluefield approach. We went through and consolidated all the projects and made sure that we did it with only one downtime, only one go live, only one set of training. So we didn't have to have the business go through iterative cycles of go lives and projects, etc. We did it all ourselves. We did it all just once. And we did all this in 4 months with only 36 hours of downtime. And what that means is our business was only without the solution for 36 hours. And that's one of the things that we do very well for a lot of our customers, especially those customers, as I mentioned earlier, got 60 terabytes of data. We can't put it all in HANA. Okay, well, what's the subset we're going to put in HANA? Well, maybe the subset is 15 terabytes. Well, okay, great, but that's still going to take 72 hours to copy because you can't just copy it all at once. You got to copy it in table sequence, etc. Right? There's priorities and precedents. So we have near zero downtime technologies that allow us to get to those lower target downtime windows. And the idea being, we move that data that you're not going to use day one, we move it ahead of time. And then we turn on things that keep track of what changes. And then come cutover weekend, we only move the stuff that's different. That's in a nutshell, but we do that. We have that capability with near zero downtime. So those are the things that we do to bring to the table a shorter level of effort for your business. We combine projects. We only want you to be down once for you to get to S4. We have leveraged our technologies with, like I said, 15,000 plus projects. All that knowledge, all that learning is in the software. We help you migrate from and to, whether you're going from on-prem to the cloud, or on-prem to on-prem, or from the cloud to on-prem in the case of an acquisition. And all of those different parts are already in the software, and they're already in our methodology. And that is how we can help you get to your S4 with lower cost, lower risk, higher value, and one of the things I find most important, lower business fatigue. We don't wear out your business. We don't want you to get to S4 with your whole business so exhausted they can't get any value out of it. And so those are one of the things we try to value as our gift or our give to the market. That's why we do what we do. So I may be running a bit long here. Miranda, were there any other questions?
I do. We do have one that came in. Okay, so can you tell me when the data migration is done in relation to the overall ECC to S4 transformation project? Now, this is specifically, is it done early in the project or throughout the duration of the project?
Okay. So let me make sure I understand the question. So when does the transformation occur? Well, it occurs repeatedly. So we start out in the project and we try to understand what data do you want to take to S4, and let's define that. And that's our blue field approach. Then we go through and we do a discovery phase. We understand, are you wanting to take 3 years of history and only 5 company codes out of the 20 years of history and 100 company codes you have in your system? That's just one example, but that's what we try to figure out first. And then we say, okay, based on that, we have a set of selection criteria as well as a set of transformation criteria. We know, all right, you want to pull 3 company codes out of your 100 and move them to the target. Oh, but by the way, company code 100 coming from the target needs to be company code 300 when it gets to the target. So that's the transformation piece. So we hold a whole series of workshops with you early on to understand those requirements, and then we go through a series of transformations, and we call those TMs, test migrations. So we have TM 0, which is the first one we run, is to just find out how we got the software installed properly. Are we even pulling the right data? We expected 1,000 records to come from system A and 1,000 records to go to system B. Did that happen? So it's very technical. Then we blow that away and we do it again, and then that's what's called test migration 1. And that's where we get the business involved, and we start taking a look at, okay, did this data come across? Does it look the way you expect it to look inside the S4 system? It's kind of the kick the tires in the S4 system with your own data, right? And then test migration 2, we start to bring in the integrations, right? We start talking about things outside the walls of SAP. And then test migration 3, we make sure all of that we've learned so far works beautifully. And then we do what's called a dress rehearsal. That's where we run the entire transformation as if it was cut over weekend to make sure we've got all our timings in place, make sure there's no defects left, everything's ready to go, so that we get to our end goal, which is a boring go live. That's our end goal. We want a nice, boring go live.
Thank you.
Hopefully that answered. Were there any other questions, Miranda?
We're good on questions.
So can you give me a time check? I think we're right at our edge here.
Yeah, we're at the top of the 30 minutes here. If we want to flip to the last couple slides, we can conclude this. So any key points you want to reiterate on this slide?
Yeah, just to reiterate, we've done this a lot. Okay, we have over, it says over 14,500 projects. That's fine. Tens of thousands of projects we've done this. And so our software has everything we've learned from doing all of that in it. We do follow a software guided procedure methodology. Our teams follow the same software your teams do. So if your project's real long, we've got some customers that do have long projects and they worry about, well, what about team turnover? Well, it's okay because we're all following the same guided procedure. Okay, we follow a standardized approach. Our Bluefield methodology is based on a standardized approach. Okay, and then within Bluefield, the fact that we can combine multiple projects into one for your transformation reduces so much work on your side, like transferring from Oracle to HANA database, moving from on-prem to cloud, dealing with, we're on standard general ledger, we need to move to the new GL, oh, maybe even go so far as the universal journal. We're on regular asset management, we've got a new asset management. All those things are already built into the guided procedure. So if you want to take advantage of those, we can eliminate the number of projects you have to deal with. And then last but not least, we've been around for a while. We've been doing this for 30 years. And so we're here to support you. We're here to help you out. We have some of our customers that enterprise license our software and then run these projects themselves. Other projects, other customers are like, look, we got a problem to solve, come in, fix our problem, then we go away. So we work all the variations of that as ways to support our customers. So please, I encourage you to reach back out to us, ask us questions, come see us either through email or at events. We'd love to talk to you and love to help you understand how we can help you make your journey to S4, A, more valuable, and B, more pleasant.
Thank you, Russell. It brings me back to the question, what was the answer to our poll? How much do you think automation can reduce the time and the risk for your organization to achieve the S4 goals? Our audience said about 40%. Is that true to what you're seeing as well?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I think about 40% is what you should expect as a minimum. And we can certainly achieve, many of our customers have achieved much higher than that. But I mean, if you think about the level of effort of any SAP project, if you can offload 40% of that effort, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Okay, I know we are at the top of 30 minutes and I know we covered a lot in a short amount of time. So we'll be sending you the PowerPoint, the recording via email, and I'll include any other resources such as blog posts and customer success stories you can peruse at your leisure. Please, and Russell, if you want to flip to that last screen, so I'd just like to encourage the audience, please follow our social media handles so you can see updates on our events and sessions we're hosting in North America. Lastly, as soon as I close out this webinar, you'll be prompted to take a quick survey. So please let us know how you did. Do you like or dislike our presentation today? All right, with that, thank you everyone for your time today. Russell, you did a great job. Thank you very much, and wishing everyone a great holiday season. Take care.